Great evening, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday evening of Let's Talk. This evening is part two of last week, my journey conversation with nurse Marcia Thomas Lindsay. So if you missed it last week, don't worry yourself. You're in for a treat this week as she continued to talk about her journey of becoming a nurse. All right, so stay tuned. Hi, hi, Noble. Great evening. Welcome, my dear. How was my day? It was a good day. I give God thanks. How was your day? Hi, Sharon. Welcome, welcome. You made it this evening. I didn't get a chance to share. I don't get a chance to share the link as yet, but I'll share it soon. You can share it with Siobhan for me. In the meantime, great, Noble. Happy that your evening was or your day was awesome. Hi, Alex. Welcome. Happy to have you. Oh, you went to Youth in Action. I love how you're active in church, girl. I love how you're active in church. Kudos to you. I made you cry? How so? All right, guys, I'm just gonna mute for a minute and share out the live. Okay, don't forget, please, to like the live. Welcome, Siobhan. Don't forget to like the live. You may also share it with others and feel free to make your comment as soon as the presentation or the sharing is going on. Feel free to ask your questions, and it's a free platform also. If you want to come on and share your experience, if you're here as a nurse or if you're in school pursuing nursing also, and you want to come on live and share, I'll be happy to have you on the platform sharing. So just let me know and I'll send you the link and you can join us right here. All right. So just give me a few minutes while I just share out this live. Noble because games night Saturday because it's the holiday. I'm saying that person might be spending the time with their family or maybe they're gone out and won't have any time for games night. So I just didn't keep any Saturday. Wanted you people just share with your family if you want to go out, go out. So I just postponed it for another Saturday again. So hopefully this Saturday. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, Alex. I am sorry about that. Really appreciate it that you see me as your big sister. Oh, so this is the platform for you, Noble. Hmm? Why you change your mind? No man, you can take on the challenge. Take on the challenge. It would be good for you. It would be good for you, my dear. Congratulations to her. I hope you enjoyed yourself. All right, just give me a minute, Noble. Great. Maybe one day, Alex. Maybe one day in the future. Welcome, Mrs. Davis. Yes, it was a good day. I give God thanks.
Good evening.
Welcome, my presenter. I am going to give you about 2 minutes. I want to wait for and see if some more persons will join us. So let's give them about 2 minutes
No,
before you comment. All right.
yeah.
I see your internet is a bit unstable, like mine. What you saying, Alex? Me and the presenter, we look alike? All right. Just as I was about to hand over to my presenter, I see she is off. All right, guys. So we're going to give her another few minutes to join, and then we will commence this evening's program. All right. So if you missed it last week, if you weren't here last week, then you missed her telling us about her journey, her 4 years journey through nursing school. All the hurdles, the obstacles, the financial struggles, the uniform struggles, the kids' struggles, the family struggles, and all of those. Yes, but she overcame. So last week she was not able to really share everything, and also thank all the persons who played an integral role in her success in nursing school. So this evening we are here with part two. And once again, I'm going to ask her just to introduce herself for any newcomers that we have on here this evening, and then she can just go straight ahead and share with us this evening. Over to you, Mrs. Thomas Lindsay.
Good evening, everyone. You're hearing me? You don't hear the fan in the background or anything. Are you hearing it? Are you hearing me?
No, Hearing you
You're not hearing
clearly.
me?
Yes, man,
Okay.
I'm hearing you.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening again. I'm a little hoarse because I was thinking of a storm this evening. There are times when we're at home, or should I say, I am at home and I use the time to sing and give thanks for what He has done for me. Therefore, I
Yes.
totally didn't know it would cause me to get this hoarse, but then I will give God thanks for. My name is Marcia Thomas Lindsay, and I am here to give a brief synopsis of my journey. Last week I was here and I tried my best to see how much I can cover, although the internet or network provider is not so efficient. Therefore, I was cut short
Yes.
at the end which I expect that part to be the most important part, where I would come to the ending of what I have to say, and the persons that I want to thank for helping me to reach my milestone. I did not get the opportunity to do so. So therefore, I am here again to do just that. I have mentioned last week that I am married to one husband. From the marriage, we produced 3 children, but in total, I have 4 children, 4 girls. Therefore, I am grateful to God for what He has done for me. All right, should I go ahead,
Yes, you may go
Sister Boyd?
ahead. And bear in mind we have two
Okay.
nursing students with us this evening. Sharon and
Wow,
Siobhan
great,
were this week. They
great,
were
great, great, great.
last week, but they're this week. I don't know if any other, but I know
Okay,
those
great,
two are on.
great. I am glad that they could join. Last week, they would have to go back and watch part one. I will try not to repeat myself. I will try to go forward. It was not easy. And many persons, if you started the journey, if you have started, it is possible because many have done it before. Therefore, it's not you alone. There's nothing that you're doing that it is just you alone who is doing it. Many others have done it before. Therefore, it is doable. It is doable. Although it is difficult, it's frustrating, it is doable. All right. It will not take you alone. Therefore, if you try to do it on your own, you're not going to make it. You are not going to make it. If you try to be selfish, you are not going to make it. Because this profession, being a nurse, the nursing profession, it's not a selfish profession. If you try to be selfish, you will find yourself on the road needing help, and persons will be walking by without even helping you. So
Yes.
therefore, I can say this is not a one-man show. Going to school is not a one-man show. There are times when you're even at school and the least person that you think will not assist you, meaning you don't understand what is going on, you don't understand the assignment. If you ask the least person that you think would not help you, if you ask that person will help you. I remember that. Remember, there was this course that we were doing, and we went by University of the West Indies. We went on the campus to see if we can accomplish the task overnight. So we decided not to go home the night, and we we were there, and it was a colleague of mine and I, and we do our researches and we write down our notes and we do everything that we think was possible to get the task accomplished. That was the first research methodology. That was in third year. And after we spend the night typing up, going back in books, researching, gathering information, and at the end of the night, meaning we stayed overnight, and at the end of the night, there is this colleague said to her, take a look at what we have. And she said, you're finished? And I said, no, we're not finished, but we just wanted to take a look at what we have. When she take a look at what we have, she said, well, this is not what we were told to do. Remember that we spent the entire night,
Oh
doing it.
Lord.
And she's saying, no, this is not what we were told to do. This is what you should do. That is what you should add. And believe me, we spend the entire night. We hardly sleep because we're on benches, stuck benches. And at the end of the night, the morning, what should be accomplished was not accomplished. We have to start from scratch. I am just saying that to say this, when you alone cannot do it. Okay,
Yeah.
the time has come for us to submit our work. And we were in the classroom. There's this young lady by the name of Tony and Powell. She's a colleague of ours. We were in the same class. And she was sitting in the class. She is a saved person. She's a Christian. And she was there sitting in the class. And she did not move. She did not go anywhere. She was just there sitting in the class. Her work is finished. Her work is finished. And then eventually she came by us and she said, Marcia. And she called the name of my next colleague and said, let me see, you guys gonna submit now? And I said, yes. She said, let me see it. And she started going through it. And she said, Marcia, let me show you the listing because you have specific topics that you have to put in. And then she started list them out. But I don't see that. And I don't see this. And I don't see that. And she's saying they're not difficult, man. It's the same information that you have within the research project that you will use to create those content. And believe me, she sit with us. Remember, it's time for it to be submitted. It was time for it to be submitted. And she sit with us and we put in everything that was missing. And we submit our work. When after we submitted to her, why did you stay back in the classroom? She said, yes, I don't know. I was just here sitting down. I was just here sitting down. And do you see how it worked out? I said, yes. I said, and then she said to me, I know why I was sitting here. God want me to sit inside here.
Yes.
Because somebody is going to need help. And she assisted us and we submitted our work. Many times
Just to
you
interrupt
have
you a little.
colleagues, no problem,
Jason is saying that research method is one of the toughest course he has ever done.
methodology.
And I would, yes, research methods. And I would say the same thing too. Any research course you have to do, oh my God, it takes a
Yes,
whole lot
it's so
of
difficult.
work, especially when it's the final paper, and it's the individual
Oh my
research
God.
that you have to do. Yes, man, it's
It,
rough.
it
You
is
may
so,
continue.
it's difficult, it's complicated, and you have to do a lot of reading. So if you're afraid of books, if you are afraid of reading, if you are afraid of not going to your bed, that course, and if you are in college, any, if you are in college, you have to do research.
Yes.
Therefore,
Oh,
just be prepared. Many schools, or should I say, many institutions, would bring it across a different way, but it's the same thing. The requirement is the same. Therefore, if you are not prepared to burn the midnight lamp, I remember sitting at home from 7 o'clock on research methodology until morning light. the next morning, when I look outside, broad daylight, and we are still not finished. But everything that we do, we have to put God first.
Yes.
I so after they're saying it doesn't matter what you are doing. We were in fasting today and they were saying it doesn't matter what you are doing. You have to put God in everything you do. Everything.
That's right.
Sister Anderson said that He is our light. Therefore, He is the light. Therefore, if we don't put everything in His hands, then we will not accomplish what we set out to accomplish. Okay, back to my journey. When we all know if you are borrowing from student loan, the requirement is that they want you to have guarantor.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with a very good friend. Started with a very good friend, and I started with my cousin. I met that cousin when he was an adult. We did not know that we have a cousin. We didn't even know him. All
Yes.
right. That's the reason why it is good for us to allow our children to know our family. He was a
Indeed.
part of the they make a difference for us. And when we met him, he was told he played rugby. He played rugby for Jamaica. And we have video of him, and they call him Happy Feet. He was so fast. He was small in stature. He was so fast. One time he grabbed that ball, man, he dashed across the play field. And when we met him, we found out that he was a part of the JDF and he can cook and he's a very friendly and down to earth person. He's our uncle's son.
Oops.
And when we met him, we were saying, "Where were you before now?" And he was saying he heard about us, but he has never met us. All right. He said to me that he will be one of my guarantor. Remember that I just meet him, just meet him. And he said he will be one of my guarantor. And he always tries best to allow me to get every information that is necessary and that is required for me to bring into student loan. That's one of the things I don't understand also with student loan. You're borrowing money, but yet you have to insure the money. Then if you have money, why are you borrowing the money? You don't have it to pay the school fee. So that's the reason why you're really borrowing it. Yet they allow you to pay insurance for you to be able to get the cash. And it was
I have heard that too.
genuine, very, very genuine. And he started getting closer to us because he did not know us. Excuse me. He did not know us. So he tried to get closer to us. And when I was in third year, it was brought to our attention that he was sick. The sickness was so sudden,
Oh
nobody
wow.
didn't expect it. He was a person that is up and running. The only problem that he had, because of his job and all that, sometimes he have broken bones. Sometimes because of the rugby, he would break a foot. He would break his ankle. Sometimes just on
Oh,
crutch. At that time, we only see him in pictures on crutch. And he said, "You know, I broke my ankle. I broke my hand." And one day we heard that he was admitted at the University of the West Indies. We call him Jai. His, his real name is Hubert Thomas. And he was there. We heard that he was admitted at University of the West Indies. And I said to myself, all right, by the end of the week, we'll go and visit him. Because in my opinion, it would be nothing serious.
right.
They said eventually the diagnosis came back and they said that had cancer.
Oh,
And everybody was leukemia, and it was
Oh,
stage 4, and it was aggressive, and he was in the hospital. Although he was getting blood, everything that is required, he was getting it. But then one day we were at home and we heard that he died. As I said before, he was not in the hospital for a long period of time
yes.
because we were planning after the week was through, we would go and visit him. All right. Then eventually we heard that he died. Everybody was, it put the family in a pause. Everybody paused. Everything paused because it was as if it was not true. I have never once I've seen my father cried. I've never seen my father cried. And when they heard that he died, the family was in mourning. It was so quick. It was like nothing was, it wasn't something that nobody was prepared for. Not that persons are prepared for death. But we're talking about this strong young man up and about. He's a soldier. He does medical every year.
Yes.
Where did that leukemia just come from all of a sudden? No one knows. Within 2, 3 days, he was in the intensive care unit. And the time when we wanted to go and visit him, we could not because it's just specific persons that was listed could go and visit him. And he died. And it crushed the family. They really crushed the family. I, as I mentioned, my uncle that is in America, who was he was helping us at the time. He came to Jamaica, and I have never seen someone cried in that manner. He cried. Daddy cried. We all cried because it was a sad incident.
And it
No,
happens. Mhm.
knowing, I mean,
And I'm saying it happened so sudden.
so suddenly and quickly. When knowing that he was my guarantor, knowing that he's now dead, um, I needed a next guarantor.
Yes.
And it was very difficult for me to get a guarantor because persons have done this already for people, and persons left them in the dilemma of the bills. Therefore, nobody wanted to take up the responsibility of being a guarantor for a student, or
Yes.
it would have to like your family member or
Yeah.
your very close friend, somebody like that.
Right. Most persons
There was
are
this young
very
lady
reluctant
that,
when it comes to that.
yes, very reluctant to be a guarantor. I asked a young lady that is from my district where mommy and daddy live, and she said, no problem. No, she said, Mrs. Lindsay, no problem. That's what she called me. And she take up the task of being the guarantor. There's this young lady that we attend primary school together. When I call her, she said, I said, no problem. And she was my guarantor. Eventually, the young lady who become my guarantor wanted to go to college. Therefore, one of the criteria of getting student loan is that you can't be a guarantor.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a guarantor. She started school and she want the help from student loan to pay her school fee. And right there and then I am in a jam. I don't have no one to relieve her. I tried one person. The person telling me yes right up to the last minute. And when it's time for us to go and do the exchange, I would say, yeah, I could not reach the person. I said, okay. Eventually, my sister have a friend, and she told the friend, and the friend called me, and I spoke to her, and she said to me, Mr. Marcia, so that you never called me for why? Then she have to ask me, you could have. And she said, anything for no. I will do anything. And I was so glad she left work. She came up by student loan with me in New Kingston. She sit down, she signed up the papers, she do the transfer, and her name went on, and everything that was required that I could release that young lady for her to get the loan for her school fee. It wasn't a very smooth transaction. It was a little bumpy and frustrating. But eventually, when it was completed, I give God thanks. And I called the young lady and I said to her, you are free now to complete your application. I can't tell anyone, if you are trying to go up the ladder and you don't expect difficulty or setbacks, then it is better you stay at the foot of the ladder. Don't climb up the ladder, because if you try to
Yeah.
climb, you will encounter a lot of ism and schism. You'll encounter
Yeah.
a lot of difficulty. You will encounter discouragement. You will encounter failures. Don't think it's uncommon when you fail more than once. You failing that don't show you your strength. No. You getting back up and continuing the race. That's what
Yeah.
show your strength. One more difficulty within the family again, because they have the little saying that it's never easy to lose a loved one to the grave. And Sister Ancelena, you can attest to that.
Oh
It's
Lord.
never easy. It's not something that you can overcome.
Mm-mm. You just live with it. Go
At
through.
the beginning, broken, no mending. At the beginning of COVID, I have an uncle that was admitted in the University of the West Indies Hospital also. He is not well, meaning he was okay until he fall from a building and he fell. And there are times when persons get your foot knocked up, and it hurts so bad at the time, but because eventually the pain goes, you know where pain no mind. Not knowing
Yes.
that if you had gone to get help, you will see that the splinter, the bone was and it's stuck somewhere, and it is causing issue. You would know that.
Right.
He told us that he went to the hospital and they gave him Panadol after a fall.
Just to ease the pain.
No CT scan, no nothing was done. And a few years after, I think it was a year and a half after, he started going blind. Nobody knew what was going on. Eventually, they did a scan and they saw a, a tumor right where he fell and hit his head. The tumor was right there near the brain stem. And oh my God, Uncle Herbert did the first surgery at KPH. When he did the surgery, they said that he was bleeding profusely. Therefore, they had to um, stop the surgery and close up back the head. He was bleeding too much. When we went to visit him, he's always he's an upbeat person, very upbeat. Despite what is going on, he's going to give a joke. He's going to say something to make you laugh. When we went there, he was out of the sedation. And he was saying, to us. Look on the next side, because somebody kick the bucket around there. So all me I try if you move the bucket out of the way, still kick it. And we were there laughing about the situation. And we were saying to him, look at the condition that you're in and you're still finding fun and something to fun about and laugh about. He went home. No, after the surgery, he went my aunt in Maypen. It was not comfortable because a person who's an adult, comfortable at their own home. But then he could not manage himself to be at his own home. But eventually, he said that he's going back home. And that was in Stony Hill. He went there, and because of his head injury, he fall again. And when he fall, they had to bring him back to the hospital. They say that they see where they did the surgery, it was growing back. He was one of our, how should I say, he's our favorite uncle. And that is on our mommy's side.
Yes.
And at the beginning of COVID, I was at University of the West Indies doing maternity and child rotation. And we had to leave the nursery because we were informed that we need to go home. I went to his bedside. I was the last person who saw him alive.
Whoa.
2 weeks before, my sister and I visited him because the tumor was right at the medulla oblongata, right at the brain stem, and the medulla oblongata is the bottom. It's like the bottom part of the brain stem. That part of the brain stem controls your regulating your breathing, your heart rate, blood pressure, swallowing. So therefore, because there was something there, the way he should swallow, he cannot swallow properly, he cannot breathe properly, he's hyperventilating at all times, breathing very hard. We would call it tachycardic. And we went to give him something to eat, and me and my sister and I went to give him something to eat, and he was there and he was eating it so slow, but he was eating it, and along not breathing properly, he was still giving jokes. And I remember I said to him, I said, Uncle Herbert, do not let the devil get your soul. Turn your life over to God, because we don't know you're going to do a next surgery. We don't know the outcome because your surgery is dangerous. He said, that can't happen. That can't happen. That can't happen. And I said to him, I am going to come. I'm going to be up here now. I told him my clinical rotation is at University of the West Indies. Therefore, you'll see me very often. I spoke to him, and he ate a ripe banana and something else. And he was breathing. And while I was there, oh, will he come through this? Because this is what keep you. You have to eat to survive, and you have to breathe to survive. When I reach back home and I pick up the book to do any schoolwork, it was just on my mind. It was just on my mind, and I said, my God, if Uncle Herbert can just go to the hospital this way, just try to get a proper checkup. And this tend to happen to most men, because men don't like to go to the hospital. They have to be dying
That's
first.
true. Yes.
Whenever time you have, for example,
That's
if you
so
have your
true.
husband or your father, and he said to you, bring me to the hospital, bring them quickly, because I dead, them are dead. They don't want to go to the hospital.
Funny
And
but true.
I was sitting at home. Yes. I was sitting at home one day, right? During the COVID, was studying for an exam, and I saw a message on my phone. I see the message. I should I say I saw the message on my phone. But you know you want to say no, 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 no. In your mind, you want to say no, it's not true.
You're right.
My sister sent to me and told me that my uncle said Uncle Herbert did, and I froze. The book was in my hand, the laptop was there, and I froze. I don't know what to do because I was planning to go and visit him again. And I said, no, man. Listen, no, this is the second death, second death in the family while I am going to school.
My
I said,
God.
God. And I was actually sitting under a mango tree and
Mm.
I cried until I said, God, me can't bear no more. No, God, I can't bear no more. And what is sad about the deaths? My first cousin, he was not saved. One. So I am not sure about his soul. Number two, uncle, although I was talking to him to let him know that don't let the devil get his soul, I don't know how his
He
soul
had
go
time.
also.
Because he felt he had time and he
Therefore,
didn't even spend the time.
it felt he had time. Therefore, it is so sad. So right at this present time, right now within our family, the family is on a mission because we are praying so hard for nobody else of the family. The dying sin. I had one uncle that was there and is kind of sickly. And a few months ago, I heard he died. We said, okay, one more down. Mommy tried to encourage him, tried to allow him to keep on the right path. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it is so difficult. And even us that are in the church for many years, you have to you have to keep yourself buckled down.
Yes.
Keep yourself buckled down, rooted and grounded. As
Mm-hmm.
my sister Anderson said today, in the church, a lot of times persons use just two sin. They consider sin to be for the church just two:
Yes.
adultery
Fornicate.
and fornication.
Adultery.
That's it. Nothing else is sin. All right. But then that's where we get it wrong. My
Very
uncle
wrong.
was dead right in that specific time, right in the COVID, where they said that just 3 or 4 persons must go funeral. Within that time, which it was so limited, even if you're at church, you have to come back outside and oh God, it is not something that we ever get over. There are times when mommy called me and mommy cried. She cried and she said, imagine, I have more than one brother who died and they died without Christ. It's not easy. It's not easy. So we have to pray for each other.
Yes. We pray for our families.
School is not easy. I was told that two student nurses are on tonight. It's not easy. I have already told you it's not easy. But if Christ is in the vessel, he will
You can.
smile at the storm. Start, you start as a child of God, finish as a child of God. Because he will help you. When you see it, when it seems as if there's no way out, he will help you. He will carry you through. He will carry you through. During school, you know, I spoke last week about financial restraint. There is this sister who my husband show partner with him, Sister Henry. And to be honest, even when it's not easy to get the partner, because she know that the money have to go pay. Because at that time she also have a granddaughter in college, and she know that they don't take with when it need to be paid. You cannot tell them I will pay it next week. Then no problem.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pay it next week, no problem. But then you will not be allowed to do the exam. So you can either try to pay it before the exam, or you can pay it next week when you have
Yeah.
it, and then sit out. Therefore, I am grateful to her, grateful, Sister Henry, whenever time it, even when it's not his time to get the partner, she tried to work it around that he will get it, that he can assist me. Before I should have mentioned this before, from last week, I should have mentioned this. There is this lady when I came to live where I'm at now. There's this lady that, excuse me, there's this lady that she always encouraged me. I don't have a mother where I am. I don't have a family member where I am. Therefore, she is always helping. She's always helping. She's always giving a helping hand. She helped me with my kids when they were baby, small babies. She's always helping. She has never given me a discouraging word. There was a time when there was a lot of issue within my marriage. A whole lot of issue. Ups and downs and twists and turns and up and she has never ever given me a discouraging words or something that is not neutral. And there are times God placed people in your life for a specific reason.
Yes.
Because He know what each role that person will play. Her name is Sister Grace Guthrie. She has been babysitter. She has been babysitter. She has been counselor. She has just think about everything that you need. I always tell my mother, I don't have a mother where I live, but there's a lady that I always talk to. And she
Yeah.
never ever give me a discouraging word. You know, sometimes you have issue. Okay, we all do have issue with our
Mm-hmm.
marriage. And I would say, you know, my husband X, husband Y, my husband Z. And they, you know what he would say to me? What she would say to me? She said, don't let your husband go away. She said, stick with him.
Yes.
Stick with him.
So you tell me
He's a
to.
person of ambition. Stick with him.
Oh, God.
She said to me, you know, you're not always right. And even sometimes if you know you're right, for peace sake,
Give it up.
sometimes you can give up your right for peace sake, you know. Because sometimes it turns in your favor. And she has been counselor to me. She has been babysitter for me. And during the time when I just started school, there's nowhere for me to leave the children. That I mentioned Sister Pavel and I mentioned Sister Jay last week.
Yes.
When I just started school, and I just started school. Um, I did not have anywhere to leave the children. And there were small children when they come from school. They have nowhere to stay. And therefore, she said to my husband, bring them come.
Yes.
She said, bring them come. And he brought them to her. She will call sometimes and she said, Marcy, how the kids them at school? You know, say me know X, I mean know Y, and she will give you the information that she get.
Yes.
Even since week, I was saying to my husband, I said, despite what, within district, not everybody is friendly, but then you have a one and two person who will look out for your
Yeah.
well-being. They look out for you. So I can proudly and boldly say, Sister Grace Guthrie is one of those persons who assist in my success. She helped me and I'm grateful.
Praise
I am
God.
a stranger to her, but she helped me and I am grateful. I am grateful. Last week I did not make mention my mother. Hmm. Oh Lord, my mother. I wish everybody to have a mother like when I have. Honest. You notice when I just cut the part, then I say which everybody have one mother like me mother. Because my mother is the type of person that she is this type of person. You see, the in-law, which is my husband, the in-law is closer to her than we are. Because what she always said, and she always said
Okay.
it, if you take care of people, picnic, God will take care of you.
You,
So therefore, even sometimes when my husband is wrong, Marcia, leave it alone. Make it
yes.
work with it one different way. And she always give us good encouragement. I am very, very close to her. She's not one of the rich and the famous ones. But then when it come on to her relationship with God, she's a multi-billionaire. And that's one of the reasons why wherever she is, I can call on her. Stay wherever she is and call and said X, Y, and Z. And that's how it goes. She tell you what is going on because she try to have a very close relationship with God.
Yes.
What I wanted to also mention, I'm going to take a break. What a 5 minute break.
All right. So she indeed took a 5 minute break. Well, I don't know if it's gonna last for 5 minutes, but it seems her internet is a bit unstable. Ah, so her sister Louise is saying she is definitely wealthy in God, and that's all that the world need, you know. Yeah, man, we want the physical wealth, yes, the earthly one, But when you're wealthy in God, that is the best wealth that we could ever have. So while our presenter prepares to rejoin us, as we have listened to her this evening, telling her story, continuing to share with us her journey, we see where she has faced many obstacles, many distractors in her way. But this evening we realize that there's nothing good in life that you're gonna pursue or you're gonna go after that you're not gonna face struggles. It is never without challenges. Once you're pursuing something good, once you're trying to do something good, trying to accomplish, make something good of your life, you're gonna face many challenges. But guess what? You have to be pure. You have to have the made up mind. You have to have backbones. You have to be the one to say that come what may, this is what I want. I have started out and I am going to complete with the help of God. There's a Jamaican saying that there is nothing in life. If you want good in life, what say? If you want good, yes. If you want good, your nose have to run. Whatever it is that you want, man, you have to fight for it. Sometimes literally fight for it. All right, and Sharon is saying that she can attest to that. She can attest to that. I can sign to that because she's also in nursing school presently, and I know that her journey, it is not without many struggles and obstacles, hurdles on a day-to-day basis. But guess what? You have to make up your mind and you have to just persevere. You have to push. She lost, I believe she said she lost about what, two or three family members during the time of her studies. But guess what? Even during those, because that can distract, because that can take a toll on you. It's never easy, as she mentioned, losing a loved one. That is something that you have to live with for the rest of your life, especially when you were close to the person. Some of them dying out of Christ. And us as Christian know what that means when a family member dies without Christ. So many were her distractions, many were her challenges, but she persevered. Not by on her own with the help of God, but she mentioned some persons too that she had in her corner. It is important for you to have the right people in your corner, the right people to push you, to support you. Sometimes they don't have the money to help. You need the money, but that's not what they have. What they have is what? Some prayer, some words of encouragement. Sometimes they can help out with the kids, whatever it is that they can do. And it's important, family members on here listening, you have your children, a child, a niece, a nephew, a cousin, whomever pursuing their dream. It is important for us to just to be there for them. Give a lending hand, give a shoulder to lean on, to cry on, and just give a word of encouragement as they go along the way. All right, Louise is saying, gold that we love so much has to go through the fire. Exactly. It has to go through the fire in order for us to see that nice, bright, sparkling, and shining gold. Yes, ma'am. So we have to go through the fire. We have to be pressed. Sometimes we have to be robbed. Sometimes we have to be beaten. Sometimes we feel battered. And sometimes we feel bruised. But at the end of it all, we will be victorious. Yes, and I will be successful. This is from Noble, and I will become the registered nurse that I want to be. Yes, Noble, nothing is beyond you. You are able to achieve whatever it is that you put your mind to. You can achieve it. Just present it before God, and He will definitely help you. All right, our presenter is back on with us. It's an even point. Yes, the direction. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Okay. We all know technical difficulties and technical problems
Oh
with
yeah.
phones. My phone went down, therefore I had to change it. But I am glad that there was a second one that I could log on with. To God be the glory. God is awesome. Whatever we are doing and we don't put Him first in what we do, then it will not be successful. And even if it does show as if it is successful, it's just a matter of time
Yes.
and it will never last. I told someone last week that choosing Jesus Christ is the best thing that anyone can do because He's the one who knows the next 24 hours. He knows what is going to happen. He knows everything about you. He have the blueprint for your life and He knows exactly how to put things that it will include you, include your family, and include everyone that associates with you. I know that God is a sovereign God. He's so sovereign that He don't stand. He stand before genetics and genes. Sometimes we heard that we have a family that is cursed. Therefore, but yet if you turn your life over to God, God can change that. Therefore, He stand before genetics and genes. He is he was in the spectrum of time from the beginning. He speak Himself into existence. This is the God
Yes.
that we serve. Sometimes we have difficult times. Sometimes we have blockage in life. Sometimes some persons are just scaffold for your assistant. You meet persons in life, and that person will not be there forever. But then that person is just there to assist for the next step that you are going to make. Therefore, we have so much to give God thanks for. He sees us from conception. He knows out of the millions and something sperms that enter that go towards that one egg. He knows that the one that is going to fertilize it, and he knows that my name is going to be Marcia. He knows the beginning of my life. He knows what is going to happen to me further down the road. The God that
Yeah.
we serve knows your beginning and He knows your end. Therefore, it is never a bad choice to choose Jesus Christ. We all have sinned and come short. We all do our wrongs at times. We all fall short. Therefore, because God knows that we will fall short, He
Yes.
fell with the cross and He didn't have to. He's, as I said before, His Father is a sovereign God. There was no sin in Him. When He came on earth, there was nothing wrong in His characteristic. And yet He died on a cruel cross for us. Sometimes God take you out of a situation and some persons fight to get back into the situation, not knowing it was God who take you from the situation. At first I wanted to go in the police force, which my first love was nursing. But I wanted to use it as a stepping stone to go further. Therefore, it didn't work out because that's not the way God wanted to work. God did not want it to work like that. Therefore, He put it in the way that He wanted. He put it in the way that He know it will come, that He will get His glory. I did not know that sometime in my lifetime, Sister Boyd is going to say to me, Sister Lindsay, let me hear about your journey. I
Yes.
had so much to talk about my journey. It was so difficult. It was not easy. I didn't get anything easy. I did not get anything easy. Therefore, I am grateful to where I am. Where I'm now, I am so grateful to God. I will not take no time out to think about what others have to say, or I don't think I am going to do this because this person is gonna say something negative. At this present point where I'm at now, I don't really care what nobody want to say. Nope, because I know where God has brought me from and where I could have been. Talked last week and I said that the course take 4 years, and God did not allow me to take 5 years to finish it. I used 4 years, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I remember, I remember distinctly one night I had to finish a coursework. I went to work. It was a Friday, and I went to work after school. And as I went to school, work after school, I go to the home of one of my colleagues that we were doing the project. We had to do a sculpture of the heart and the lungs to get it beaten. Therefore, I was in and out. I went to work and I came back to her home, and we were working on it, all kind of materials, and we're there working on it. And I it was so late. It was so late that I was wondering, how am I going to reach home? And I remember there was this taxi on the road, and I remember his number. I had his number, and I called, and I said to him, "What time are you going to be off the road?" And he said to me, he told me the time, and I said, "Can you delay it a little?"
What you gonna
And
run?
he said yes, because I want to catch the taxi to come home. It was a Friday, and I normally tell my children I am coming home on a Friday. So therefore, if it doesn't matter what time I reach home, I want when them wake up Saturday morning, them see me. And I spoke to him, and he said, "Yes, man, I go up on the road." And we finished at the we finished at that young lady's home about 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I think it was 10 o'clock. It was 10 o'clock or so. When I reached Spanish Town, there was nothing much. There was nothing much, no much traffic going on. I took something to Old Harbor. While I was coming down, my phone started beeping. And I said, "My God, the phone is going to dead. I don't have nowhere to contact the taxi driver." And what I did, I look on the number. And just as I look on the number and register the number in my head, the phone go dead. I didn't write it down, you know. The phone just go dead. And I said, "God, will I remember the number? I am tired. I want to go home. If I cannot contact him to let him know that I'm on my way, then he's going to go home because it's late."
Yes.
And I borrowed somebody's phone in the car. And the gentleman lent me the phone, and I dialed the number. I just close my eyes. I picture back the number that I see before the phone shut off, and dial the number. And when it ring, it was the correct number. And I said within myself, I said, "Thank you, Jesus." While on the road coming down, the place was so lonely, so lonely. But I reached the Mapen. When I reached the Mapen, the taxi driver was not in the town. And I called, and he said he's on his way back into the town. It was late, you know. When I reached Jamalco, coming down, it was 1 o'clock. I called my husband, and he asked, and I said to him that I am at Jamalco coming down. He asked me who made up at Jamalco. Because at that hour of the night, they were sleeping. And I reached home, and I was satisfied because I reached home. And even all through those difficulties, the devil still tried to stand in our way. I remember for that same course, that same subject, when we reached back to school the following week, which was the Monday, we were supposed to get the information on a CD, and the young lady was there. She's much younger than I am, and she was there talking to me loud, and I am going to X, and you need to come now. You need to come now, unless I need to put the information on the disk. And I turned and I looked at her and I said, I am not coming. So when you got to put it down the information, put zero on my name. Because within myself, I know when everybody was sleeping, I was on the road traveling home.
Yes.
And yet you're gonna cause animosity to tell me that if you don't come first to, I said, you don't need me to go and copy the information on the disk. And she was there. I said, me sure you know there. I am not coming. And I sit down. And even a few persons that was saying to me, they have never heard me or seen me gotten that upset. But when I remember what I went through the night just to reach home at 1 o'clock after one, and you're still going to give me trouble, same course. So I was telling those nurses, student nurses, on you will encounter persons with different personality. You will even encounter persons that are schizophrenic. You'll encounter persons that are bipolar, that are in
Mm-hmm.
college,
Yes.
right? And
Experience too.
my mental health teacher was saying to me that everybody have a touch of madness. It doesn't matter what way you portray it, but everyone have a touch. It's just
True.
for you to identify yours. And when I see that that young lady was really gonna get me out in the classroom, I just say my piece and just leave her standing. I am here. I'm giving God thanks. I'm giving God thanks. God have his margin. God, there's a margin when you deal with God. God have his way of doing things. God have his way of fixing things. God have his way of putting down a margin and you cannot cross it. And no one can cross it to hinder you from your success. From God fix it. I remember I was talking to mommy one day ago, and she said to me, she was talking to a gentleman, and the gentleman was saying to her that Jesus is wickeder. That's the word he used. It's not more wicked, wickeder than the devil. And my mommy was saying to him, in what way? He said, yes. If the devil curse you and you go to church, they can pray for you and change it.
Oh Lord.
If someone put witchcraft on you, you can go to church and they pray for you and change it. But if God curse you, nobody can fix it. And she laughed when the man said that. But the fact still remains, God is so powerful. Then whatever he does
Not wicked.
is the final
All
say.
powerful.
All powerful. Whatever he said, he always have the final say.
Yes.
He gave us a life conscience. And there are times when we are going to do something and something speak within us and say, don't do that. Sometimes we can listen. Because sometimes
Yes.
this is his way of speaking to us to let us know that don't go there. Don't go on that road. Not everybody you meet is a friend. Not every individual you meet at school is a friend. Some of them, they are seed of Satan, definite seed of Satan. Sometimes they will never change. And not just within the college setting, but all around. A lot of persons will never change. But then we trust a God that is able to do much more than we can even think. or ask. God is mighty in battle, is mighty in pulling down stronghold. I am coming to an end. I give, I'm giving Sister Ancelena a big shout out and thanks for the opportunity to share what I have been through. I could not finish this without saying this part. I remember there was a time I went to school. As I mentioned last week that I normally cook my food, pack them out in plates, freeze them and carry them daily from my sister's house. I remember when I was coming from home and I reached the school, somebody was there with the food without no meat because they know that I am carrying meat. Therefore, it's not only one person that goes through difficulty at times. Many persons go through difficulty. And we are here to stretch and give a helping hand. All right? The person carry the rice, but there's no meat. But since me normally carry meat, I went to school and introduced curry pork to them. Many of them have never tasted it. And some of them tell me that me catch them with the food that I carry because a lot of times the food that I carry share for 1, 2, 3, 10 persons. Therefore, I have so much still to give God thanks for, despite the difficulty that I have been through. There are persons who have been through even worse. If God did not know that I could go down and bear it, He would not give it. He will not give us more than what we can bear. My
Yes.
mother played an integral part of my success. She prayed me through. Sometimes I wonder where this woman get money. I wonder where she get money at all times. She said there was a time that she normally borrow money. She borrowed until she said, I am a child of God. I should be the lender and not the borrower. And she said she spoke to God about it and God changed it. And she has so much to give God thanks for. She, she tried her best to keep us on the right path. Despite all disappointed and discouraged and down and with their way down far. And if we call mommy within 15 to 20 minutes, they're right back up. She have
Your
magic
sister
words.
is saying, your sister Larice is saying that little is much when God is in it. And earlier, when you mentioned about your mother being rich in God, she said she is definitely wealthy in God.
Yes, yes, very much. She she tried to keep a good relationship with us. We all of us females, there's only one son, and she keep a good relationship with everyone. Everyone. Whenever time something is wrong with one, mommy knows. And eventually you see your phone go ring. Your phone go ring and I walk one now. Don't
Yes.
even tell her say nothing. Because she already knows that something is going on. Explain it to her. And then she will she's always taking it from the Bible. And as I mentioned, the Bible is our basic instruction before leaving earth. Therefore, if you're going to ask somebody to encourage you and the person is going to take the information from the Bible to give you, then you're on your way. You are on your way. I am blessed. I'm highly favored. There are so much persons that has been a part of my success. I'm not rich yet. I'm working on it. Not yet. I'm working on it. And I pray to God that when it does come my way, it's not gonna be for me alone. Because if you work so hard and you fight and you achieve your dream and you share it with no one, you don't tell nobody about your experience, it's like it is null and void. It makes no sense. It's as if it shouldn't have happened. Therefore, I am grateful for this time that I have within from the time I finished school until now. I am trying to sink deeper in Christ, deeper in Him, because what? That's where I know I will find anchor. I will find my anchor in Jesus Christ. He will fix it. He knows everything. He spoke to at that time they weren't even disciples. They said, Master, we went out and we fished for so long and we threw the net and we catch nothing. But because you said it, we're going to do it again.
Yes.
And that's how I try to live my life. Because God said it, I'm going to do it.
And do it.
Because He is a God that do everything else but fail. Everyone that has been an integral part of my life, person who have played a role in my life. There's this young lady by the name of Ken Walters, no married name, Ken Grant. She's a selfless human being. And believe me, many of them are out there. You have some persons who are selfless. They will go the last mean just to help you. You call them any hours, and if they're asleep, they rock out of the sleep. Yeah, what you say no? All right, me soon call you back. And they're calling you back, and they're walking you through, and they're helping you. There's a next young lady by the name of Tamika Boy. She's also a blessing. She have her little Pisces ways about her, but believe me, she have a heart of gold. She's a
Yes.
very nice young lady. There's a next young lady that I want to send shout out to also. Her name is Ini Abasi Ubum. As for example, you hear me call her name, you know she's African. All right? She is a selfless person. Also, I give shout out to Lori and Mullins. Also, she is such a selfless person. These are persons that will stand with you, doesn't matter. Without you paying them, they just have a kind heart. Okay, and I am grateful to be associated with them any at all. Also, my sister at KPH, Nadisha Thomas, she fights the body now. She have, oh Lord, she have every cover for every sore. As I say, age, she know a B, C, and D. And it fits the occasion. Every time she talk, it fits the occasion. But
Yes.
she also, she's such a genuine person. She cannot be fake. You know, you have some persons who cannot be fake. She
Yes.
wear her emotion on her face. Therefore, if she's upset, you don't have to ask if she's upset because you're going to see that she's upset. She's a no nonsense person, and therefore she's an excellent nurse. They have many more that have started. They have many more that are out there. You have many more that should come on or go on. And God has placed them in our lives for us to associate with them for a reason. There's a young lady in America. She will be working soon in the post of as a nurse. Her name is Hillary Anderson. Believe me, Hillary drive to school and Hillary sell her stuff them at times. Hillary trust her something them at times because there are persons who don't have the money at the time to purchase. Therefore, we all play we part in what we do. We are grateful for each other. God favors us. Therefore, He will put things in balance. He will put things in balance that it will work itself out. Because in His word, He said that everything work out for the good for us because we love Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Just like that, because we love Him,
Yes,
He
Lord.
worked things out. He worked things out. In Luke 5 verse 32, it says, I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. My whole aim and intention is try to live a life that is pleasing before man, that man can see God's good work in me and come to glorify Him. That's all we need. The hell
Yeah.
is full, hell full, and still spreading out its wings and taking in more. We have family members who will not make it in. Today I was in fasting, and Brother Little said that there was a time that he said when he is dead, he will talk to God. The word of God said the dead cannot praise God.
Mm-mm.
Therefore, we have to make our calling and election sure while we are alive. We have to put Him first
Yes.
in whatever thing we do. We have the opportunity now to give God thanks. Many, if they see you with the Bible in some places, they knock you out. Know that we have the opportunity. Let us raise the banner high, give Him thanks, stand with each other, pray with each other, because God will fix it. The song that says, have we any river that seemeth uncrossable?
Possible.
Have we any mountain that we can't tunnel through? The God that we serve specializes in the things that seem
Not
impossible. We
possible.
don't see how it will work out,
Glory to
but
God.
He will work it out. There's this next song that I was singing from this evening, and I sing it until I said, oh my God. Sometimes it takes a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it takes a mountain. Sometimes the sea, rough and rugged. Sometimes it takes a desert to get a
Oh,
hold of
glory to
me.
God.
Sometimes the things that you go through is just to perfect your walk with Christ.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with man and what man says. What we want is when we go before Him, He said, well done, my good and faithful
Faithful
servant.
servant.
They said there will be surprise in heaven, but there will be no surprises because it's what you work, that's what you will get paid for. And everyone know where they are with Christ. Despite they put on a show at times and they perform as if they're at Hollywood, they know exactly where they are with Christ. They know that sometimes at the end of the performance, God stand and look on them and say, what is going on? I am blessed. Thanks, Sister Boyd, for the opportunity. Thanks to everyone that is on listening. God is good. He worked it out for me. Therefore, it is not uncommon to man what God is capable of doing. He can do just about anything except fail. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you.
You are very welcome. God bless you as well. Thank you for doing a second part two, coming back on here and sharing this evening with us. I just want to read what Noble is saying here. Roshan Noble is saying, I just want to say that you have encouraged me so much, and I just want to thank you for encouraging me. And with this encouragement that I get tonight, I will use it as my stepping stone to accomplish my goal of becoming a registered nurse. And in everything I
Amen.
do, I am going to put God
God
first.
first.
And this is Brother Morrison, Gerald Morrison. Amen, my sister. God is good. Rashan is also saying, but all we have to do is to pray. She's talking about the song that you were singing. Sometimes it
Amen.
takes a mountain, and she says sometimes it takes a troubled sea. But all we have to do is to pray and have faith in Him because He has something great in store for all of us. And I believe so too.
Amen.
Something great in store for us. Do we have any question for our presenter, or do we have any words of encouragement, final words of encouragement for her? What I love about you, though, Marcy, is your spirit of gratitude.
Oh Lord, I'm
Your
grateful.
spirit of gratitude.
I'm so
You know,
grateful.
sometimes someone will make it in a life and we accomplish certain things in a life and we behave as if, oh, I did this all by myself.
All by myself.
I did it all by myself.
Not a bit.
Not even God, they don't want to say thank you to. So I love your spirit
I'm
of
grateful, man.
gratitude this evening. Just from last week, you have been sharing and just saying thank you to those persons. It doesn't matter what the little things that they have done for you, you still show
Amen.
them appreciation and say thank you. I have two questions for you this evening before we go off. The first one, what was the feeling like doing your final exam, the last one to complete your degree? What was that feeling like when you went into that exam room? I hope you
Okay.
listen to Siobhan and
It's
Cheryl.
my final exam, meaning on the ward.
Yes.
They call it span of duty. Believe me, if I find myself in the position to be on the board of nursing, I'm gonna change that exam. Same time as me reach. As me reach, me remove it.
Oh my God.
You know why? It is so intimidating. It is so it is so nerve wracking. Whenever time you hear that you're gonna do span of duty. My my definition for span of duty is that they are testing you what you have learned in 4 years. They are using 4 hours to test you on it. Therefore, I don't see where that is right because
Yeah.
nerve always get the best of us. You get 4 hours to do medication, which no problem. You get to do addressing, no problem. Then you get to write a certain amount of care plan concerning your patient. And when you're writing, the pen now move fast enough. The pen not moving fast enough for you to write
Yes.
what in completion. And believe me, they come and every time you see an examiner somewhere near, close to you, you look on your time because I really time really up.
Yes.
4 years, 4 months, 4 hours in the exam run off like 2 hours or maybe 1 hour. That's how it seems. You don't have enough time. The pen not moving fast enough. Your hand not moving fast enough to write, and it is very devastating. You have persons who have the degree and they have never returned back to do span, and they don't return to do RENR. They do the 4 years and they collect the degree for Papa Yui and they say, happy riddance. It
Oh
is
my
too
God.
intimidating. Honestly, if I have the opportunity, I would, if I sit on the board and I hope none of them will see, I say no, when she come, I was turn her back. Whenever time, if I should get the opportunity, I will change span from, even to give it a different name,
Yes.
honestly, because it is such an intimidating
And change the
exam.
structure of it.
Oh God, I would change the structure of it. If I am, in my opinion, what I would do, I would put the student nurse on the ward for the week. Then I will observe her action. I will observe her poise, how she deal with patient, how she, without even she knowing that I am watching.
Yes.
I send somebody to do a overlook of what is going on. Then we grade you from that. I span. I don't like span.
All right. All
Sometimes you
right.
have to have
So,
a very nice nurse.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you have a very nice nurse to stand with you during that exam, because you have to have for certain skills, you have to stand with a registered nurse for them to confirmation for them, for confirmation from them. Sometimes you stand with some nurses now, and believe me, no, the nurses them are Satan seed.
Oh my God.
Honestly, those nurses, some of those nurses, those are the nurses who were born in the white. Because you have some of them who are born in the white. You have some go
Yeah.
to school, and you
Yeah.
have some who
But
were
someone
born in
like
the
they
white.
don't understand. Yeah.
Yes. No.
Yeah, man. And all those
So
type of.
that's what I would change.
All right. All right. So Sharon is saying, thank you for sharing your journey with us. Very encouraging. All right. So my final
You're
question
welcome.
to you. My final question to you this evening. How did you feel on your graduation day? Hearing your name called over the mic, hundreds of people might be sitting there in the room and just walking up to just to collect at the time. Sometimes it's not really the degree paper in there, but just to collect and note it. This is it. What did your inner self say to you?
To be honest, this is such an easy question. Hope it not allow for have my graduation.
Oh, you didn't have no was the online
No.
graduation?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But the good thing about it, the good part about it was when we were going to take our pictures,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
we
Take
meet
the
up as a
picture
group,
moment.
and we take our
Hilarious to make me
pictures.
laugh.
We take our pictures, and we were there, and eventually we had this photographer came, and we did a photo shoot.
Yes,
So that's the best thing I can say about the graduation. We were really planning for it, honestly. We
yes,
were
yes.
really planning for the
Yeah, that is
graduation.
something you
But
look
then
forward to,
COVID just,
inviting family and friends.
yes, COVID
Yeah,
just, even at the time when we were taking the pictures,
yes.
they were saying you can't have no more than one person. If a person carry you, if for example you have some that carry you to the place to take the picture, the person
Hmm.
cannot come in.
Oh,
The
yeah,
person that is still outside in the car cannot come in. Therefore, COVID really take that part away from us.
yes.
So,
But nonetheless,
but
you
I am
have the
grateful.
memory, and that's really all that really matters, right?
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
grateful. Honestly, I'm grateful.
All right. So I just want to say once more, congratulations and
Thank you very
thank
much.
you again for sharing with us this evening. So many persons on here, they have been encouraged, and you see, Nobly's saying that she's gonna use it this evening as a stepping stone. And even though she was saying earlier that when she heard about all the courses or the subject that she need to have in order to pursue nursing, she said she was going to change her mind. And now she's saying that through your encouragement this evening, she will be pursuing
It's possible,
her
man. It is
dream of
possible.
becoming a
It's possible.
registered nurse. So I just want to say thank you once more. Any final words for our presenter? If not, that is it for us. And Marcy, I look forward to seeing you stepping out in your white uniform. I look forward to
Yes.
seeing you stepping out in it. white uniform.
Yes, God is
All
good,
right,
and we
Clarice
have
is
to give Him
saying the
thanks.
day of online graduation, they put up another. Oh, yes, remember Marcy did I say that? Yes, the day of graduation, they put up another picture with your name. I remember
Yes,
you
with my name
shared that.
beside
Not
it.
with
So,
another picture.
as
Yeah.
in conclusion, you notice the devil fights straight to the end,
May I tell you? Yes, man. Yes.
straight to the end. So,
But you
eventually,
overcame.
when they change it, I didn't have no
Over.
time to go back and watch it. So,
Yes, 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 yes. God is good all the time.
that is
So God
awesome.
bless you all this evening. It's another wonderful evening of Let's Talk. Guys, I look forward to seeing you next week. We will have somebody else sharing their story next week. Delayed but not denied. And that
Nice.
individual will be here talking about her journey through this life. So, guess what? Don't forget,
Amen.
join me next week, Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. And remember, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe so you can get that notification for next week. God bless you. Bye bye. Thank you all
God
for
bless you. Bye bye.
joining. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.